As you know, there are many different types of WordPress security plugins out there that promise that they will secure your WordPress site. Now, there are three very popular ones. One is called Bulletproof Security, another one is called Better WP Security, and another one is called Wordfence Security. Now, if you look in more detail, you'll realize that each one of these focus heavily in certain areas. Now, I will say Bulletproof Security, it's a lot harder to get set up, but if you can get somebody to set it up for you, that is a plus. You can go to Fiverr.com or even Odesk.com to get somebody to do that for you. But what I like about Bulletproof Security is their focus is primarily SQL injection and XSS injection. If you're not familiar with these types of hacking approaches, SQL injection and XSS allow the hacker to basically hack your site, and with XSS, they can take control of your whole site. And with code injection, they can easily deface your site. They can do a lot of damage to your site. And there's a lot of htaccess protection with Bulletproof. Now, it's a lot more complicated to use, but if you can either do it yourself or get somebody else to install it for you, then I would say this is one of probably the best. Now, Wordfence.com is another really good one. I installed it, I tested it out, and it has the cell phone sign-in approach, so it has that two-factor authentication, which is really good for brute force attacks, which these other ones don't really have. So this would be great for especially the recent brute force attack that tried to take down tons of WordPress sites and Joomla sites. This would be a great way to prevent that. But of course, that comes just with the premium version only. So the downside with WordPress is while it is 100% free, they do offer premium versions which have added features that you can add on to, and that will really take protection to the next level. It's a great firewall. As you can see here, it blocks fake Google bots, malicious scans from hackers, and botnets, which are basically software that automatically try to hack you. But in terms of basic security and malware scans and everything like that, I'd have to say this is one of my more favorite plugins. But of course, you might have a more favorite. You might prefer Bulletproof Security over Wordfence. I definitely would recommend that you test them out and figure out which one you like the best. Now, taking a look at Better WP Security, this specific plugin, their focus is primarily securing plugins that are weak. So if you take a look at this, it says obscure. As most WordPress attacks are the result of plugin vulnerabilities, weak passwords, and obsolete software, Better WP Security will hide it'll hide and protect the vulnerabilities of these specific plugins. So that's not something that is really covered, if you notice, in the other WordPress security plugins. So as you can see, different WordPress security plugins are different. I can't really say that one is the best because they all cover different areas of focus. Like this is Bulletproof, so it's primarily htaccess, basically about hackers hacking your site, injecting code. And this is about vulnerabilities. And then of course this here is about scanning for, this is more of a kind of an antivirus scanner that you would put on your computer. And it also has the two-factor authentication, which is highly recommended and used by banks and government agencies, but it's also used to protect you against the brute force attacks. So the recent brute force attacks, all these other ones really would not really protect against that. So I would say what I recommend that you do is install Wordfence, which I will do in just a minute. And then if you want to get somebody else to install Bulletproof and better WP Security, you can do that. But as you can see, it's downloaded almost 1,000,000 times, as well as this one here and this one here. But in terms of this specific video itself, I would say this is probably the easiest to install, and it's more of a scanner type virus thing. And that's kind of what you need. But at the same time, if you can get these other two, that would be good too. So let's go on to my WordPress dashboard here, and I go to the plugins section and add new. And we'll do a search for Wordfence. It's actually one word, not two words. Click on install now, click OK. And it takes about 3 minutes. I pause the video, but after that you click on activate plugin. And once that's activated, you'll see the icon. It's a yellow icon that looks like a shield. If you click on it, this is the Wordfence, and what you can do is you can start it by scanning. So you click on start a Wordfence scan. And what it will do is basically scan your whole site for vulnerabilities. And depending on how fast your web host server is, it can sometimes take a long time. But as you can see, it's scanning all the files, it's scanning the plugins, it's scanning the themes. And as you can see here, some of the features are only to paid members only. So that's the only downside. It's not 100% free, but knowing that it does get updated is good. Now, as it's scanning, okay, it says scan complete. You have 6 new issues to fix. See below for details. And if I scroll down, it says the plugin as Kismet needs an upgrade. And if we go down here, we're looking through here. It looks like everything deals with a Kismet, and I really don't use a Kismet, so I'm going to go to the plugin section and I'm going to delete a Kismet because I don't need that specific plugin. So if that plugin is causing problems, then I need to delete it, especially if I'm not using it. So one other thing is to delete plugins or deactivate the ones that you're not using, because it can actually slow your WordPress site down. So if we go back here and we go to the scan, we go to ignored issues. We don't have any. That's good. So scanning for all themes, and we can click on live traffic here. Basically what it does is it analyzes the people that have come to your site, the crawlers, the Google crawlers, people that have hit your pages not found, the logins, logouts. And that's good because that way you can monitor who's coming in and out of your site. So if somebody does hit your site, you can figure out who they are and their IP addresses. You got blocked IP addresses. None are blocked because nobody's visited the site. You got cell phone login, which is the 2-factor authentication that I was talking about. This is really, really good with brute force attacks. Basically what this is it's a 2-step process to sign in. You'll use your username and password, but you also use your cell phone, which has this application that produces this, basically this password, and you'll use it to log in. So it's kind of like stuff that the high-tech clearance agencies use to log in. And then you got country login, which is only available to premium versions. You got scan schedule, which, so I would say that Wordfence does kind of a mostly scanning, but in terms of protection itself, I'd recommend Bulletproof or better WP Security. But like I said, they all focus on different areas. But Bulletproof is a lot more complicated to set up. It can take, I'd say, an hour or more. So if you got a couple bucks, you can get somebody else to do it for you that already knows how to do it.